Here's to the twilight. Here's to the memories. These are my souvenirs, my mental pictures of everything. Here's to the late nights. Here's to the firelight. These are my souvenirs, my souvenirs. Close my eyes and go back in time. I can see you smiling, so alive. We were so young, we had no fear. We were so young, we had no idea that life was just happening. Life was just happening. Here's to your bright eyes, shining like fireflies. These are my souvenirs, the memory of a lifetime. We were wide-eyed with everything around us. We were enlightened by everything. So close my eyes and go back in time. I can see you smiling, so alive. Close my eyes and go back in time. You were just a child, and so was I. We were so young, we had no fear. We were so young, we had no idea. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts, nothing lasts. You and me together, always now, never. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Close my eyes and go back in time. I can see you smile, so alive. Close my eyes and go back in time. You were wide-eyed, you were wide-eyed. We were so young, we had no fear. We were so young, we had just begun. The song we knew, but never sung. It burned like fire inside our lungs. Life was just happening. Nothing lasts forever. Life was just happening. Nothing lasts forever. I wouldn't trade it for anything. My souvenir.
That good? Is it on there? All righty. Thanks, Tristan and Mitchell. You guys did awesome, of course. So, hey, everybody. I have a few questions. Things like, what is the meaning of life? What's the meaning in this death? Sometimes I like to know why people are so mean to other people. I'd like to know why life is unfair. I'd like to know what I did to deserve the last brutal 8 months. I'd like to know why God picked on Seth. I'd like the answer to where we go from here. I'd like the answer to peace, the answer to happiness. I'd like the answer to cancer, especially brain cancer. But I don't have all these answers. What I have are a couple ideas and a couple theories and a couple of thoughts that I've got the last several months. And maybe somewhere in there we'll find some answers. First off, we're going to start with faith. The first being Seth's faith. In those early morning hours on that Thursday, back in September, after the first MRI, when we knew we were in a mess, despite the fear that Seth had, he immediately thought of others. Honestly, some of his first words were, I hope that this struggle, this journey, this experience helps bring more people to God. In a time when he was shaking from fear, Seth wanted his life and possible death to have purpose. So I can't start speaking today without honoring that first request. You all fit into one of three kinds of confidence in your belief about God and Jesus. Some of you will fit into a group that has a deep faith in God. You will have those same questions I have. Why Seth? Why our family? What did we do to deserve this? What possible purpose could this serve? It's an age-old question. How could God allow this to happen? For those with a deep faith, you won't get any more answers than I got. You see, there are things that aren't revealed to us by God. He conceals a lot from us. What he demands is our trust in him and our faith in him. My aunt asked me early on if I questioned God and why this happened. I don't question the purpose of God that God had for this Seth and for Seth's struggle. I'm confident in God that he has a purpose for what happened to Seth. I do, however, question the means. As a father that has lost his son, I feel Seth could have fulfilled God's purpose so much more if he'd been allowed to stay on planet Earth. But I trust that God has this. So for those of you that are deep believers and have a deep faith, I know the struggle of Seth won't sway your belief in God. And I'm thankful for that, as Seth would be as well. Like you, I'm sure that God's purpose for Seth was accomplished in his short 16 years. And because of this deep belief, we get to rejoice and celebrate today. And that's a wonderful thing. Because Seth's gone to heaven, and he's a place where happiness is there that hopefully we'll get to go to. And so those with deep belief, we get to rejoice and celebrate. Now, there's a second group of people in the room, and those are the ones that I worry for. Those folks are possibly new in their faith of God and Jesus, or maybe their faith wavers back and forth from a real firm belief to a shaky belief. Don't fret. There's more than one of you in the room, I'm sure. When you see something like this happen to Seth, you have questions like, if there's a God, how could he allow this to happen to such a great kid? Trust me, I have the same question. For you folks in this second group, I can only tell you two things. Seth would not have wanted you to lose hope in God. Seth never lost hope in God. He would have wanted you to do what Pastor Stacy preached about last fall. He would have wanted you to lean into God for strength, lean into God for help, lean into God for understanding. God doesn't want you to go through these struggles alone. He wants you to lean into him. So if you fall into this group, find your pastor, find a fellow Christian that is more mature in their faith than you to mentor you, find more time for prayer or to study the Bible. Do whatever it takes for you to get a deeper trust and faith in God. That's what Seth would have wanted you to do. Now to the third group of people in the room. There has to be some of you in the room that are non-believers. Maybe you weren't raised in a family that believed. Maybe you believed at one point and fell away. I'm going to keep it simple for you today. For those of you in the room that are sitting on the fence or don't believe, I would simply ask today that you take one day, today, the next 24 hours, between 5 p.m. tonight and 5 p.m. tomorrow, and at the very least, contemplate a higher power. It was Seth's wish that his life and death would bring people to God. So take some time over the next day and sit silently and contemplate the possibility of God. And if over the next 24 hours you feel something, maybe the tiniest tugging, maybe a slight pulling at your heart, maybe a voice in your head that could say possibly there is a God, that you listen to it and, more importantly, act on it. Find a church, call a pastor, call Vicky, Tristan, or myself, pick up a Bible, YouTube a sermon. Do something to step forward and possibly find a relationship with God. Personally, I don't know how people make it through struggles like this without some sort of belief in God. I believe you can find God, in God you can find peace, happiness, comfort, and our Holy Father. So give it a shot. Quick break. The second kind of faith I want to talk about today is my faith in people. That kind of faith was reaffirmed and strengthened through this ordeal. It's easy to turn on the news and get on the internet and just see people hating on people. During the last 8 months, we were divided as a country by elections, by Black Lives Matters, by immigration, by culture, by religion. It's easy to get cynical. But let me tell you what my family saw the last 8 months. We saw both Democrats and Republicans step up and help us. We had people of all denominations bring us food and give us money. We had believers and non-believers feel our pain. We had people of all colors love on us. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we'd spend more time finding our similarities instead of fighting for our differences, the world would be better off. Ultimately, I believe that we will be okay as a human race. I have a faith in our humanity based on how people reacted to our plight. Our desire to love one another, I believe, will overcome the evil of hate. Love, compassion, and empathy. I do think these things will win out. And with that, I want to thank you all for supporting us the last 8 months. I've said it before, we say thank you to people, and I don't know if they really truly understand how down deep from our hearts that we mean that. You don't feel like you can ever tell people how much you thank them. So, all right, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I want to take a few minutes to talk to the young people in the room, those that are 20 years and younger. So if you're older than that, you can not listen for a few minutes. I want to talk to Seth and Tristan's friends. You guys are going to get chances and opportunities that Seth won't. Don't take those things for granted. Don't take your friends, your parents, your siblings, your education, your health, or really anything for granted. Don't squander your life. Make good decisions. Honor Seth by doing the right things more often than not. Yes, a little youthful indiscretion is okay, but keep in mind that life is precious. I know many of you young people won't get this. You're just simply too young to put it into context. And you think that you're going to live forever. But life is a fickle thing. It'll end quickly. So follow your dreams, do good in the world, and love your neighbor as yourself. So far I've talked on how many minutes? A couple minutes here, and I don't know if I've given you guys any answers. Would you guys like some answers now? All right. Where do we go from here? Where do we go as a family? Where do I go as a father? Where does Vicky go as a mother? Where does Tristan go as a brother? Where do we go as family and friends of Seth? I think I have that answer. And that answer is found on a Little League field several years ago. Late in the game and down 9 runs, Coach Barnes and I brought the team together before our next at-bat. Something I'd seen earlier in the day on, I think it was Facebook, popped in my head. So I told the boys, listen, boys, we're down a few runs. We don't have a lot of time left. I think you have one of 3 choices. You can either give in, you can give up, or you can give it all you got. I say we give it all we got and go score some runs. And that we did. Jeremy Passmore. We were playing Jeremy Passmore's team. There lies the answer. Seeing all that has happened to Seth, you can give in. For me, giving in means not changing the way that you go about life right now. It means giving in and staying with the status quo. It means nothing that happened to Seth changes you. Your thought process basically is things happen, not much you can do about it, and tomorrow looks the same as it did today. You do nothing to become a better person. You show up that same worker, student, father, mother that you were yesterday. You give into the same fears, the same negative behaviors, and the same routines. You give into sameness. You can give up. It'd be easy to get into depression after this storm that we've been through. Life is unfair. What can I do about it? The attitude that nothing you do makes a difference. Therefore, I'm not even going to try. Maybe even worse, you'd be tempted to start doing dumber and more destructive things than you did before Seth's struggle. Let me tell you, Seth would be disappointed if you picked that choice. Lastly, you can pick giving it all you got. You give it all you got like Seth did before and after his diagnosis. Seth was a great kid. He had a natural warmth. People were drawn to him. He was a leader. He worked hard, and he was full of love. He had a strong sense of fairness and of right and wrong. After the diagnosis, he never complained about his situation. He kept his faith. He stayed positive till the end. He did everything he could to beat cancer. He gave it all he had. So for me, and maybe for you, I say we move on by honoring Seth in this way. He would have wanted you to take time and remember him and grieve, but he would have wanted you to give yourself permission to be happy and honor him by taking your lives and giving it all you got. He would have wanted you to find a place to do some good in the world and get it done. He would have wanted you to help someone or pick someone up. He would have wanted you to live your life like he did, with a smile on his face, doing his best. So tomorrow when I wake up, I'm going to try to be a better person than I was today because of Seth. I'm going to try to smile more. I'm going to try to be more compassionate than I've been. I'm going to work harder at the things I love to do. I'm going to take more time for things that matter. More than likely, I'll get it wrong more often than not. Listen, if you're leaving the church and you get in front of me and you're not doing at least the speed limit or 5 miles over, I'm going to get frustrated with you. But I'm going to work on that. I'm going to live my life better from the lessons I learned from Seth and because of the warmth and love that our community has showed us, and because Seth would have wanted me to give it all I got. I hope you do the same. Giving it all you got, every day in every way. Storms in your life are going to come. You have one of three choices. What choice are you going to pick? Tristan and Mitchell are going to follow with another song from Switchfoot that I asked them to play, and it's called Hello Hurricane. It references storms up ahead, storms like we just have come through, and storms that we're going to have in the future. But it also references hope. It references that there isn't a storm that can silence our love. I'm going to read the first verse while Tristan and Mitchell get ready. Oh, I've been watching the skies. They've been turning blood red. There's not a doubt in my mind anymore that there's a storm up ahead. Hello, hurricane. You're not enough. Hello, hurricane. You can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. All your dead-end fury is not enough. You can't silence my love. There we go.
I've been watching the skies. They've been turning blood red. Not a doubt in my mind anymore. There's a storm up ahead. Hello, hurricane, you're not enough. Hello, hurricane, you can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. All your dead and fury's not enough. You can't silence my love. Yeah, my love. can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. All your dead and fury is not enough. You can't silence my love. Yeah, my love. I'm a fighting for control. I'm a fighting for my soul. Everything inside of me surrenders. You can't silence my love. Yeah, my love. Hello, hurricane, you're not enough. Hello, hurricane, you can't silence my love. I've got doors and windows boarded up. All your dead and fury's not enough. You can't silence my love. Yeah, my love. I said, hello, hurricane, you're not enough.
Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, John, for the inspiration. For the next little while, we're going to hear from some select folks from Seth's life, some family, some coaches, some friends. And we're going to get started with Seth's mom and dad and brother, Vicky.
I have a million stories I'd like to tell you all, but I decided I'm not ready to do that. But as I look around this room, I think how happy it would make Seth. He loved a good party. Somebody asked me yesterday why we're wearing shorts, and this was Seth's request. The first night he was diagnosed, oddly enough, he planned this whole day that night in the emergency room. So I want to be here to share this with you because I know that you all loved Seth, and I'm so grateful that you all loved him so much. I'm grateful for every day that we had of his 16 years. I want you all to know that though we're shaken, Seth is still a part of the glue that holds us together. Most really, I really want the devil to know that he did not win. God did. Death did not heal Seth. Jesus did. I can see him full of life, planning his next adventure. As I speak to you now, and each and every day, I think of that. Seth is good. He is so good. We're just sad. His life will shine day after day through each of us as we let it. We miss him every day. And though our hearts are crushed, we are thankful he is free. I once read a story of a century-old practice of repairing pottery, broken pottery with gold. I think it was Japanese art. The story struck me. It was years ago. It struck me because the writer compared it to God, and that when our hearts are broken, God repairs them, and that we come out of them more beautiful. So I can only hope that we all come out of this more beautiful. On Mother's Day, I was walking into the restaurant flanked by Tristan and John, and I thought of the verse, a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. John, Tristan, and I will continue to walk in faith and wait with great expectations for the day that Seth shows us around heaven.